Oh, okay. Okay, let's call the meeting of the Agriculture Advisory Board to order, April 12th, 2021. The first thing on our agenda is to approve the minutes from 2/8/2021. I should have a copy of that. I'm gonna take a minute and look over it. Anybody see anything stands out? All right. Do I have a motion to approve the meeting for,
Make a motion.
okay,
I'll second it.
okay. We're, everyone who wants to vote, raise your hand to approve the meeting, meeting. We approved the meeting. All right, and as far as the next one is, we're going to approve the minutes from the workshop. And we have some summary of it, but I don't have a copy of it right here with me, but I can send a copy to everybody of what we did, and we can discuss that as well later on here. So, take a minute to look over these minutes.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. All right, how about a vote to approve the minutes for the workshop? Okay. All right. Our next, since Adam has gone, we're going to elect a secretary at least for the interim. Just somebody to take notes to help out Laura. And you, if that's okay? Yeah.
The next one is,
Oh, public comment, I'm sorry.
yeah.
I thought I skipped. Okay, if we have any, public comment. I don't think anybody's here, this is Mr. Bond's here for the, he's on the agenda. Okay? Sorry. I just looked out there and didn't see him. Did anybody get any letters or anything? Did you get anything for us? Okay. All right, then, I'm sorry. Then we'll go on to the next thing. We're gonna, elect somebody to just, take minutes during the meeting, help out here while we're a man down, I guess, or woman, whichever it ends up being, director of planning. So, if we would, if anybody would like to volunteer, or if anybody has anybody that they would like to nominate to be the secretary. Does anybody have any ideas?
I have a question.
Sure.
So Laura, I thought for whatever reason, I know that we nominated Adam, but I thought basically you did all of that. Do we need to nominate you? Is that what we need to do?
Well, we would rather have somebody that's on the board do it to relieve some of her work, just to help her out. Just interim till we get somebody.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Okay.
I thought that,
No, well, this was just, because there's an empty spot there in personnel, they have a lot going on. And so I just thought this would be a way that we could relieve some of the pressure. And just take minutes, it's nothing, I mean, we don't want you to do the other stuff she does. That's enough. So,
So what is the role, what exactly are
just, mainly just to take minutes for the meeting.
and then.
Summarize them, and you can send them to me or Laura, and then we'll print them up for the next meeting for approval.
Okay, I can volunteer. If
Okay.
Nobody else is gunning for
Anybody else?
it.
well, yeah, we need to nominate.
Okay, anybody else have any questions? All right, well, let's, anybody wanna go forward with the nomination?
I would like to nominate Tessa.
Second.
How about a second? All right, let's vote.
Interim, right?
Yeah, I guess. Unless, no, I'm just kidding.
Until it becomes
I
full-time.
volunteer for interim.
Okay.
Just nominated for interim, because she keeps saying that.
Yes.
We're
that's part
hoping,
of
we're hoping it's only gonna be a short period of time.
And
until
that's moving after this meeting?
they- Yes.
Okay.
If you wanna start jotting down notes,
See if they're any good.
yeah, you go ahead and try that. Just so that we kinda have a record of what goes on, and I hate to put any more on Laura than we already are.
Right, but you're taking minutes for today.
Yes,
Okay.
but you did you vote, Tessa?
I didn't vote because I.
You can vote for
You can
yourself.
vote.
Okay, I'll
yourself.
vote for
Yeah.
myself.
Okay, so I'm gonna change it to 7-0 instead of 6-0.
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right, now, Rainey Bond's here with, the Oconee Beekeepers Association, and he's gonna tell us about an exciting, celebration that is in the planning stages for this year for a very special reason.
Hi, how you guys doing? Appreciate you guys having me out.
Just state your name for the,
I'm Randy Bond. I'm,
Okay.
I'm sorry, can I stop you just real quick? I need you to come up to the podium.
yeah, so like,
And then if you'll just state your name for the record and then,
there you go.
then you can.
all right. My name is Randy Bond. I'm the president of the Oconee County Beekeepers Association. Get that right. So the reason I'm here is this year's the 100th year of continuous support to the OCBA here in Oconee County. I think it's a great big deal that for the last 100 years, people have been interested in agriculture for one, and two, to be beekeepers. It's hard enough to keep folks interested in beekeeping for 6 months of the year, let alone 100 years.
100.
And the reason I'm here today is to ask if you guys will help me facilitate a proclamation to the county council that will recognize us during National Hunting Month in October. And throughout the year, we've got a lot of things planned, especially if the Heritage Festival kicks off. We're gonna do quite a few things, and if we can do parades, we're gonna get in that. And so those are a little few of the things we're doing. We're putting together a time capsule. That's we're hoping that maybe the museum, the Heritage Museum, will let us put in there for 100 years from now. They can see that there were beekeepers here before. So that's kind of my plan for the year, and I hope that you guys can help, and I'll be able to take any questions you might have.
I'm excited about this. My grandfather was a beekeeper back in, I don't know if he was in the club or not, but he was the person that everybody went, I just found this out a few years ago, that when somebody had like bees in their house or something, he would go capture the swarms for them and take care of them. So I think it's kind of neat. I've been in the club myself for probably about 8 years. And I'm South Carolina Beekeepers Association as well. So I think it's something that we can get behind, and we can help you with a proclamation. And actually, Katie will help us.
Thank you very
And
much.
we'll get together and come up with something. We got a few months, but I wanted to go ahead and get it on the record.
What month is it? I'm
September.
sorry. September?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
just so, because we don't, as crazy as things has been, at least the last year, we really don't know
No.
what's gonna happen. So I thought the sooner we did it, the better. Also to get people thinking about it. And I think getting involved with the fair is a really great idea. The fair's always supported us, the Beekeeper Association.
Yes, ma'am.
And we've always supported the fair. So I think as many things that we can get around that time, and the fair will be around that time too, I hope, Charlie.
It will. End of September.
It's end of
Last week,
September, so
That's the
we
day.
can have the big celebration maybe at the end then of the month.
Yeah,
So
29.
I think that's a great idea, and we appreciate you being here.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Anybody else have any questions?
What does the proclamation look like?
We're just gonna have usually it recognizes a day or time or whatever, and this will do it in a way to proclaim that the beekeepers have been in existence for 100 years and recognize them as such, and hopefully we can have you know, some members here and, you know, we have in the past had, you know, a display or whatever, and we'll work on that in the meantime, so.
Is it in the newspaper?
Well, hopefully we'll have some publication, I mean,
Yeah, there's gonna be
publicity.
quite a bit of publicity for it as we move through the year. Once we know where we're gonna be and what we can do this year, then we're gonna start advertising.
We've had a hard time meeting too because of the pandemic.
We've had our first good meeting last week. It was great.
How many members are there?
Right now, we have about 45 paid-up members, but COVID's kept most of them away. We generally have about 115 to 140.
Yeah,
That's great.
This is countywide?
Yes, ma'am.
we have people from other counties too, actually.
Yeah, there's folks that drift over from, they're
Georgia.
kind of like bees. They drift
Yeah, they
over.
drift over the
They
line.
don't know where they're gonna end up.
Are you guys still putting the displays in the school?
Yes, sir, we are, and that's going really, really well. I was just at James Brown day before yesterday, and they've got more hives than they know what to do with. They're trying to find places for them, other schools and such.
Tell people about it. Some people may not know what y'all have there.
So, about 3 years ago, Jeff Blackwell got a grant from the state and from a couple of other organizations came together to help him out. And we've put observation hives in every elementary school in the county.
Every school.
And it is every school. I focus on the elementary schools.
Yeah,
And
it was in every school.
the ag teachers kind of are doing the things at the high schools. But I think that we're the only county in South Carolina where every school has an observation hive and hives outside for the kids to actually participate and view the process of beekeeping.
That's a good
That's
bullet
really
point for a
cool.
proclamation.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so this is for us to be in support of trying to facilitate a celebration event?
Well, yeah, just, we're gonna work with the county council and make sure they have it on their agenda for a proclamation.
Okay.
Or the month is what they were asking for,
Yeah.
because they'll have celebration things throughout.
It's a
the month.
national honey month. We just wanna connect it with National
Okay.
Honey Month.
Gotcha.
The actual day it started was 100 years ago. I'm not sure what day it was.
Yeah, we don't
It's hard
know
to
when
pin that one down.
When the first meeting was,
Yeah.
and where, for that matter.
They didn't keep very good notes. They didn't
probably
have
a
ladies like
Kiwi
this at
somewhere.
the meetings.
They probably didn't have too many notes.
It was probably down in where Kiwi is now.
But that's one of the things we're doing this year. I've got some really great ladies that are going back and going through the history of the club, and we're trying to find all the presidents all the way back to, as far as we can go back to the beginning, and some newspaper clippings we found about the meetings and such. So it's going to be a really good public thing when we get it all put together.
Really cool.
Great. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right then, I guess we can move on then, and, since we've had some discussion about it, I think that it would be a good thing for us to help them facilitate this with the county council. The proclamation and recognition of the, 100-year celebration. Anybody else have any comments?
Sounds good. Recognizes agriculture.
Right.
Big boost.
Yeah, without our honeybees and other bees, we'd be in trouble.
So we need a motion.
Yes.
I make a motion.
I'll second.
All right, let's vote. You're gonna help me, Katie?
Yes, ma'am.
We want to get that vote from you. Okay. All right, let's move on, to, some of us, got together, one-on-one and talked about the workshop since we weren't able to have our meeting last time. And one of the things that came up, that comes up every year, is our communication. So we kind of have come up with a plan, and let me kind of explain. I kind of outlined it, and if you had a chance to look at it. We talked about, each person was appointed by someone in their, while you're a district councilman. Except for Tess and I, we were at large, so we were nominated by the whole council, or elected by the whole council. So, and what we thought would be a great thing is if each person made contact on a regular basis with their district councilman. And we'll come up with, some talking points. Mainly this first time, I think it'd be just a good idea to talk to them, to let them know what we're doing, what our plans are, and see what the plans of the council are in regards to agriculture. And I thought we could have some discussion about this. And one of the things that we would do is that probably, and like I said, like maybe the week before our meetings, each person would let me know what you had, if you had met with a person or talked to them. It doesn't, you don't have to necessarily meet with them on person, talk to them on the telephone, or, you know, take them out to lunch or whatever you want to do. And then just let me know, and we can put it on the agenda, and you can tell us what the outcome of your discussion was. So how does other people feel about this? And then we can talk about it and come up with a plan that's a little more detailed if you want to, or whatever, or not. So anybody else have any thoughts on that?
I think it's a good thing.
Sounds
Yeah, I
good.
think it's a really good idea to narrow in kind of how to go about that communication. That makes a lot of sense.
I just called mine since he's a neighbor. I just
You
called
just,
him on the phone.
Yeah,
I
he
can yell
was-
across the fence.
I was gonna say, y'all walk out in the yard and have a meeting.
And I've been talking with him on this and some other things, so it's a good idea. It's
Yeah,
specific.
yeah, I think it's, if we get in the habit of it, just so that they know that we're actually meeting and talking and discussing and things that we are interested in. It gives them an idea, when they get to talking about stuff, maybe they will, you know, ask us as well. We'll have the two-way conversation.
Yeah.
So that's what our goal would be, to me, I feel like. I think for Tessa, you and I, we can, I mean, I talk to different ones all the time, so I don't mind that. But also, I thought that we could maybe get involved, like, in fact, I already talked with the planning commission on a good, you know, regular basis. They're not meeting right now, so they're not really doing a whole lot, but, I mean, they may be doing more than I know, but I mean, they're not meeting, so. And there's probably other, I don't know, I just suggested maybe Parks and Recreation, or,
Yeah,
also thought about the school district, if you kind of contact there.
okay, I'll write that in.
Since we don't, you know, we don't have a specific councilman, not to say that you can't talk to a councilman, as well.
Right.
Larry, do you have any?
No, I think it's a good idea.
Oh, okay.
I need to talk to Matthew anyway.
I was gonna say, you and Matthew talked on it. He's pretty.
Yeah, he's come on job site a few times, but yeah.
And so this initial conversation is basically just saying, we're gonna be talking.
Yeah, and I thought what I would do too is, I'll come up with some talking points if we decide to do this, if we're gonna have a vote on it in a little bit, if this is what we decide to do. You know, and mainly just conversation, excuse me, I can't conversate. Really. But if, just communication, and then if we have anything specific, you might even tell them about the 100-year celebration for the beekeepers, or, you know, whatever we're working on. I think it'd be a good idea to, inform them of what we're thinking, you know, and maybe they have some ideas as well, so, you know, like I said, if we decide to do this, then I'll send out some talking points, and you can go by that, or either what's on your mind, kind of thing. What do you think, Kim?
No, I think that's fine. I think that's kind of what we had discussed
Right.
one day,
So,
so yeah,
yeah,
I think that's fine. I think that would help us, with the communication. We keep talking about
I know, we
communication.
gotta start
The only way to
communicating,
fix
don't
it is to start somewhere, so.
none of us have much trouble speaking, so I think we're talking, I don't, usually.
I think it's a fine idea.
Charlie, you?
I think we need to talk to them more and more, keep them farmer friendly.
I do too, I do too.
I think it's important to talk to people, just talk.
In general, yeah.
Not go to them begging for money or whatever. I think that's.
Well, that's what, I think with the
Just talk.
Beekeepers Club, even, I wanted to get Rainey involved, so he wasn't even aware that what we did. I don't even know if he knew we existed.
I knew you guys existed.
Okay. Well, anyway, this is, what we have to do is promote agriculture as one of our main goals, and also to have communication within the community. And we do have several organizations, I don't know, a lot of us are members of other organizations as well, that can also do the same thing. This doesn't limit us, but it's a starting point, at least with the council. Ashley, what do you think? You've been quiet.
Yeah, I'm for it.
Okay, well, anybody have anything else before, does anybody want to make a motion and say this is something we want to do?
I think we're all in agreement.
I think we all agree that we should do it. If you
Okay.
need an official motion,
We need a
then I'll
motion.
make a motion that we,
Okay,
So,
second, okay, want to vote?
Finish the motion, just to make sure I understand what y'all are doing.
Okay, the motion,
I make a motion that we follow through with a communication plan for each member to talk with their councilman or appointed commission to promote agriculture in the county so that we have a two-way communication. Because Rex is right, we don't always need to go to someone with a problem. We
Right.
need to have a two-way communication so that when there are issues, then we can resolve them a lot easier.
is that good? Okay. Anybody else have anything you want to say before we
Do you
vote?
need to know?
Just hang on, Mr. Witten, you seconded, right? Are you
Yes, ma'am.
still in that second? Okay. Now you can have discussion.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Anybody want
sorry.
to discuss, any more discussion? I don't know, Tess and I mean, what do y'all think about Tess and I being involved with like other commissions and committees as needed? Does that sound like a good?
I'm happy to
I think,
talk to
yeah,
whoever.
planning commission especially.
Yeah.
That's
Planning
what,
commission, since we kind of,
We're sorta there.
under them, so
Yeah,
I
we're
think
kind of
that's-
connected to Parks and Recreation too, supposedly in our bylaw, or,
because of agritourism, and
Agritourism.
I think that communication piece has got to be there too, so that we're all going in the same
same direction. I
direction.
do too. Also, we've talked a lot about the connection with our school board, with the ag
That's
teachers.
another one that's.
And I know that Tessa, you've been interested in that, so maybe we can find you a.
we have a
contact.
liaison, back when we started this, in discussion with Dr. Thorsland, he asked, one of the ag teachers to be the the spokesperson for the ag teachers, so we have that person in that, liaison already in place. We just need to revitalize it, and keep talking to
Are
him.
they on
The
the
name and the number.
school board?
Josh or Jeff?
It's Josh
Josh.
McCall, yeah.
He's
I've
an
been
ag teacher?
I've been in contact with him, yeah, in the past, so yeah.
I think we need to get a liaison on council, on the school board, board.
Well, Dr.
You think it's someone
Thorsland
on the
directed
school
us to
board,
him.
like Dr. Thorsland?
You probably talk to him as well.
He's, yeah.
Okay. Well, if anybody else has any comments, or let us know, then we can vote. Y'all ready to vote? I'll vote yes.
State the motion again, please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, that we, adopt a communication plan with county council to promote agriculture, to have the conversation so they know that what we're doing and what their directive is to us, so that there's always a line of communication. And each district representative will communicate with their district councilman, except for the two liaisons that at this point we have Planning Commission and Parks and Rec. That's the motion. And then y'all brought up the school district.
Yeah.
and that-
Oh, and I forgot about Carrie. I thought what she could do is, if there are any state or local extension people we need to contact, or that they have any she can bring that to the table.
She's real good about
Yeah.
bringing that up anyway. But
Okay.
if I need to put that in the motion.
No, I forgot about that one. I don't think you need to.
They
Okay.
might appreciate a little bit more concise motion. That was pretty long. I mean,
Okay, then how about a motion to have a communication plan with council?
there you go.
As stated
There you
in
go.
the.
They'll appreciate
Is
that.
that good for you?
That sounds great.
You got
There you
it.
go.
I can always condense it.
Okay, so that sounds like a new motion.
Okay. All right, so let's just,
We got the motion, just a second.
You can move to amend it.
All right.
Just move on.
Move on. Can we vote now?
Y'all vote.
Okay, y'all wanna vote on what, are
Aye.
you satisfied, Rex?
this looks like
We need to state what we're, yeah. I'm in favor.
So the motion that I heard just now was that you were wanting it in line with county council or just to communicate
communicate with
council?
county council.
As stated
And
in this.
Yeah, I pretty much,
You know what, just put as discussed, and just move on.
okay, discussion, any more discussion?
No, we're.
Oh, we're voted, okay,
Well,
okay,
I was
voted.
talking to her about the minutes and I
Oh,
couldn't say it
okay.
out loud, sorry.
I'm sorry,
No,
okay.
no, you're good, no.
I just
No,
wanna make sure I do this.
You are doing wonderful.
Okay.
You're doing wonderful.
Okay.
I said it a little too loud.
So we voted, and we're
So
good.
now you can move on to the next item, yes ma'am.
Okay, all right then, the next item is, this is also, one of the things that came out of the workshop, that we have committees, and I think under the circumstances where meetings aren't always possible, it's a good thing to have a committee, and since there's only 7 of us, I thought that what we could do, this was my idea, really, is that we each have our pet little project. And that can be the committee, you can have be a committee of 1 or up to 3. And, I just put examples here, this is not necessarily what you're working on or whatever. Except for me, I've been working on the processing thing for a while. And I know Kim needs to finalize her, the ag, the farmer's guide. So you're the committee for that.
no,
Well, we'll talk about that later. It doesn't matter about that, but, just mainly what I wanted to do was discuss this and see if y'all thought that might be a, good way to get this off the ground anyway. And if anybody has any questions, now's the time to, or comments or other ideas.
So you're basically looking for the committee members to look more deeply into and research things that hopefully are close to that specific person's interest.
Yeah, with the goal of having something that we can bring to council to advise them on, which is our position here. So, for instance, the processing thing, I think that we need not only protein processing business that handles local proteins, but also think we need like a commercial kitchen that can be used for value-added products. And I think that's something that goes with economic development. So I want to bring that idea with the research I've done and how we can bring somebody that's interested in doing that to the county. So if you have, and I was thinking about like the Food Policy Council, when y'all come up with what you feel like policy that we need to make as far as food, that you bring it to, that it's an idea you can bring to the council.
And like the ag board would back the idea or something.
Right,
Yeah.
you bring it to us and we say, okay, we support that idea. So we're gonna bring that to council. So we're gonna vote on it and then we'll advise council on what we think they should do. No, whether or not they do or not, but that's our role as far as being advisor in an advisory position, so. Anybody else have any?
So it's kind of like a divide and conquer tactic.
Right. And I mean, there's no hard and fast rule. I mean, there's gonna be things come up over time, that maybe we hadn't even thought about. That needs to be addressed. And you bring it, say Kim has an idea, and she brings it to me, we need to talk about this, and we need to get this, and so she's gonna be the lead person, do the background information, and lead the discussion, and have it put on the agenda. That kind of thing. So we have something that we're,
So could this be flexible? Like if your work group report minus, food systems, if I find something new that I think should be brought to attention to everyone,
right,
that could be.
and that we can bring to the attention of council.
Yeah.
That's the idea. So
Is-
really, it can be as simple as, you know, that, or it can be more complex and take forever, like some things have done, you know.
Are there, we talked in the workshop about our top priorities.
Right.
And so is that something, do we want to keep it narrower as far as work groups go?
I think we could do that.
Or do we want
Do you have
to
that
have
sheet?
it?
Did you make a copy of that sheet that,
I don't have it with me.
I don't have
Did she
it.
send did we ever get a
We
summary?
do have one, and I'm sorry, I meant to send it out, to everybody.
Maybe that's something
I didn't
we
get
could
it till
talk about at the
Friday.
next.
Yeah. I guess really what I wanna do today is just vote to whether or not this is a good idea for us to do, and then we can, you know, we can work out the topics or the groups later.
So a vote to say we should have committees within the ag board
Right,
focusing on specific
right.
priorities.
With one to three people. We can only have three people on an outside group.
Okay.
Okay? Because up four is a quorum, so that would be, you'd have to call a meeting. That's why it's, but some things only need one person. I mean, you know. And some things might need three people, I don't know. I mean, or you may just wanna work with somebody. That was my idea anyway, so I'm opening the floor for other people's input. Any questions?
I think it's a good idea as far as like, you know, I'm on the food, you know, I've been with the Food Policy Council stuff, so that's something that I could keep us in contact with. And I don't have chicken houses or anything, so like someone who is in that world can share with their insight and bring that to the table. That's a good idea.
I agree, I think we need something like that. Now, I'm not so sure about
That's fine.
what you put down there, because I think, and I think Rex will attest to this, that guide has been put together so many times it's not even funny, and been torn apart so many times.
We need to finalize that one way or another, all of us.
I think it's in the minutes that we went ahead and moved
We
it.
moved it to
Moved it
this,
forward.
and that was it.
We
And
need
so
to move
I
it
think
forward.
it's, you know,
It's pretty much done,
yes.
and we voted on it, I think, last time to post it somewhere on the web or somewhere, wherever we can
Right.
put it.
Is that on us to be able to post it, or does it have to go through council?
Has to go through, somebody else, my understanding is. We don't own
Well,
that.
We'll have to find out, that's why somebody needs to be head of that committee.
I mean,
Can it just be presented to council to be put somewhere, or what is it?
I don't
need
know
to-
if we have to involve them or not, really. Or I guess we have, I
I
don't know.
guess we need the permission to put it on the county
is this
website.
what you needed, Laura?
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
before Adam left,
yes.
I asked him to tell me what his plan was for that. But that
Right.
was, you know, you guys had said this is the final cut.
Right.
So he said he wanted just to, you know, get it off that Excel and make it more like a document that you could print.
Right.
So I asked Morgan at the Economic Alliance to help do that.
Okay.
So she sent me something that looks way better, that it wasn't on the agenda, so I didn't bring it. I was gonna send it to Debbie and you guys tomorrow, so that you
Okay.
can see what it looks like. And then, my understanding, after talking to Vivian, is I don't think it can be put on the website. That's something that they probably won't do. But it doesn't mean that you guys can't print it and hand it out to where you want it, like have it at, you know, maybe at the farmers markets or wherever you wanna put it. But we can talk about that, I guess, once y'all look at it and see, and then decide how you're gonna distribute
We
it.
can do
Right.
that
But it's
for,
down to 4 pages and like you could probably do it as a 4-page
Trifold.
pamphlet or
And if you
something.
say that, I'm just gonna scream, and I think everybody sitting here is gonna know why, because that was the original
Piece for the
document that was
website.
posted. That was
So-
brought in here and then was sent right back out the door, and we went to the bigger document, and that got sent back out of here, so it's been redone so many times.
I know.
And that was
That's
the
why
reason
I
we
asked
couldn't
him to
add,
make sure that
like, businesses too.
What he wanted me to do with it.
Right.
How to follow up with it, so I'll
but
send
you
it
have
to
the,
guys
well, that's,
Okay.
why don't we put that on the agenda for
for
next time?
Is so that,
Can you send it so everybody can
Yeah.
review it?
absolutely.
And that'll be
So that
good.
we don't have to Pumpkin,
But it's not on
1,000.
an Excel spreadsheet, it's on a real pretty colored, and it looks good.
No,
So,
great.
I think it looks good.
Okay.
You're saying it can't be put on a website?
That was my understanding.
The
so I
county
think,
website.
I don't think it can be.
But we could find another website.
the original plan, I do believe, and y'all can correct me, Rex, Stevie, if I'm wrong, but the original plan was to have it for the Heritage Fair as a handout, like with our economic impact, very similar to that. So that when people came and they wanted to learning about farming, they could pick it up and that was their resource guide. It was more of a paper, here it is, let's go.
Right. And that's kind of what it looks like now.
Okay.
It's not fancy, but it's not an Excel spreadsheet.
Okay,
It looks better, and it's in a Word document so that if people, contact numbers change or whatever.
Right.
It's
You can
easily
change it.
updated. The first thing she sent me was not, and I said, is there any way you can get that in something where we can edit it, or will we call
Okay.
on you like every couple of weeks? or
right,
whatever,
when
so-
somebody, something, information
Exactly.
changes.
So
Okay,
I'll
well,
send it
thank
out.
you.
I'll send it to everybody. so
All right,
it's-
that sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, let's get back to our discussion. And I put work groups because of, I heard that committees has gotten to be a bad word for people because so many people are on so many committees. So, but we don't have to call it that. I just felt like that was a good term for
It's
us.
a good new
Work
term.
group.
Yeah. So, does anybody have any objections to having work groups? Anybody?
I think it's a great idea, like I said, as long as we're making progress and moving forward with each one. And we have, there have been a lot of things that have moved forward. This ag disclosure where Rex went ahead and we wrote the letter and it went as far as it could go from here. It went to council and then it went to the next step. Those type of work groups where things are emailed out and back and we can all kind of communicate and move forward from meeting to meeting are great. You know, one work group that I think is important that's not on here is probably, and we all have contact with that, is a legislative work group. So that we know what's, if you want them to be farmer friendly, like Charlie said, then we need to be on top of what's
Right.
coming down.
I just, really, this was just examples, and
That's
I didn't mean for it to be.
But I'm just saying, is the motion then for us to vote to have work groups for individual members to work on throughout the year on projects or issues or concerns as needed? Is that,
That we agree, should it be something that we have all kind of agreed is important, or is it just kind of?
I think, I think that would be part of a discussion. If we decide to do that, then, to have the work groups first, and then, going about it is a kind of a secondary thing, is the way I looked at it. Does that sound?
but I understand where she's
I do too.
coming from, and she brought up a very valid point, so maybe it needs to be, the motion is to have work groups as approved by the full board. I guess.
Yeah, that was I'm listening to y'all talking, forgive me, my question, I saw your frustration, and I mean, maybe that's where we talk to the council member, do we get some guidelines from them, but personally, I don't wanna spend time and effort in doing something, I'll spend a lot of work in it and find out that we can't even take it forward, you know? So, I mean, I guess how we pick what I think it's a great idea, but picking
Well,
something that we can actually
yeah.
make a difference with would be.
I agree, and see, when you talk to when you talk to your councilman,
Yep.
you may get something that they want us to work on.
And that's where they go hand in
So
hand.
I think that it should be kind of a fluid thing, where, you know,
They're formed as needed.
yeah, but I wanna make sure that everybody's doing, you know, that we all feel like we're contributing something. And it may be just something that you keep in touch with somebody to make sure something's moving forward, or, you know, as things come up with the, food policy.
Yeah, we can lock that one in.
Yes, that say, you know what I mean? That's what I was thinking, and, you know, as we work along with I mean, you don't have to do it, but the farmer's guide, as we go along with it, have somebody that's, you know, working with,
I don't mind
staff
doing
to,
that. Right.
further along. That's what I'm looking at. It's not like you're necessarily locked into anything either. And if something didn't pan out, move on to something else. There's plenty of stuff.
Yeah, but maybe nice, get some feedback maybe, and ask what, like you said, we talked to county council, is it something that's
Right,
feasible to even,
right. Well, you know, if we don't bring it to them, they're not gonna know. So it's gotta start from somewhere is the way I look at it. You know, I've had that experience in the past that, what I want to make sure is that we're doing what the community needs and wants, and that we're, you know, we're meeting our goals. And, you know, and I'm sorry that we don't have those, the printout from, and Jennifer did a great job on the printout from our workshop, and we do have our priorities on there, and I'll send that out. And as far as if we vote to do this, it's kind of a work in, like I said, it's fluid, it was a work in progress. I just happen to be working on this for a while, so, and I'm coming to a conclusion on it, so before I bring it to y'all, I wanted to, make sure everybody else had a chance to work on something that they were interested in as well, or that they have seen, or somebody's told them there's a need for. Like, also, I want to work with Rainey and the Oconee Beekeepers Association to come up with to help them, and maybe with something else with the council, you know, or just in general, but, you know, it's just examples, so. But the first thing we have to do is to vote whether or not we want to proceed with the work group idea. So,
I think you about have to have a work group.
well, the way things are, and it's, in case we can't meet for whatever reason, we're not going forward.
Yeah, well, you know, we're so diversified in this
Right.
county with agriculture. And it's a good thing we are, and we're blessed to have this committee. You know, a lot of counties don't have what we have here. And this is a way to get our agenda to the county council.
Right. And the community to come to us. We're happy, I hope it's
Like
people like,
the squeaky wheel, if it don't squeak,
It doesn't give them.
it
it
don't
just
get
gets
fixed.
ignored.
And that's what we have to do. If there's a problem going on in the up part of the county or the lower part of the county, we need to do what we can do to take care of it, help the problem.
So are you looking, I guess I'm back to the.
Yeah, we need to make,
Are you looking for a motion? How did you word it?
let's see.
Agriculture Advisory Board work groups? 7 groups with 1 to 3 members as needed and approved by the board.
That sounds good. You
want me
want to
to
say it again?
repeat that? Or does somebody else want to make that motion?
Go ahead.
I make a motion that the Agricultural Advisory Board form work groups for 1 to 3 members on issues as needed, to be approved by the full board. Is that how you want to say that?
And we can hash it here before it goes to county council.
Right.
Did I condense it enough for you, Laura?
Okay,
You're
so
welcome.
we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
30.
Okay, any more discussion? I just want to say, what we'll do is, we can, I'll email individually and kind of get an idea, and we'll get that priority from the workshop out to everybody, and we'll kind of got an idea on what people are interested in or what we think the community is.
She's looking for a budget.
I know, but we're supposed to have a discussion too, if anybody has any, but I'm just letting y'all know. That's my part of the discussion. All
I
right,
think your
anybody have
dra-
anything?
I think your draft is right on, and I'm happy with my role. And I have a suggestion, maybe Charlie might be interested in working with the Farm Bureau as part of one of his efforts, since you're active with them.
Yeah, I want you to,
That'd be great.
I think so. All right, anybody else have anything before we vote? All right, let's vote. Those in favor of forming work groups?
Sorry, I was rushing.
No, you're fine. So, all right, then I think we are finished with our agenda. So I'd like to have a motion for adjournment.
Motion?
Second?
Okay. All those who in favor?
Aye.
No, let's sit here a little while.
Y'all wanna sit here just a minute?
I think that
Y'all
condition
have
must have
already
gone
set
off
the
at 4 o'clock.